was amazing.
A spectacle.
Amazing. 70,000 Friday, 80,000 yesterday, 150,000 people taking over MetLife. It was great. The uniforms, the energy, just insane. Incorporating Jets and Giants and legends, Messi, everybody coming back. It was incredible. Here's what I don't understand, though. As much as all the other sports, basically, CeeLo, do their best to ruin their sports. NBA All-Star Game is unwatchable. Hell, most of the NBA regular season is unwatchable. I love college hoops. March Madness isn't what it used to be. You don't even know anybody on the roster anymore with everybody jumping around. The way teams are jumping, this is for college football as well, jumping from conference to conference. Nobody knows what's what. And even the Masters, with half the good players that live, so many things that we cherish, it doesn't resonate the way it used to. Hockey, and this is coming from a fringe hockey fan, hockey is actually doing everything right to grow the sport. And I'm sorry that I got to be the bad news that says this. No matter how much they do well, they will never be mainstream. And I want to know why.
Not our past. It's not our pastime, right?
Neither is golf. It was born in Scotland in the 1400s.
That's true. Look, I think we've been conditioned over the years. Some of these big-time events, we're supposed to watch this, right? It's the Super Bowl. It's the Masters. It's the NCAA tournament. This is what we do. It's the World Series. It's the NBA Finals. And hockey is always thought of as what? The Canadian sport, the European sport. Maybe not so much in this town because we do have our diehard fans here and obviously passionate fan bases, which you saw on full display at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford over the weekend. But it's just not the easy way, right? You don't have the kids that are playing sports growing up the same way they are baseball, the same way they are basketball. Like, look, you're talking to somebody who played street hockey, roller hockey, ice hockey, so I guess I'm the exception to the rule. But I can at least understand, it's easy to pick up a basketball and go out to the court with your buddies at the rec center and shoot it around a little bit. You want to play, you need net, you need a puck, you need a stick, you need a helmet, you need gloves, you need shin guards, you need this, you need that.
You need a rink if you're going to really try to play.
Right?
That mom to take you at 5 in the morning.
And you're worried about the cars coming by. You don't break any windows, anything like that. Maybe there's a crazy dog that gets loose. Like, it's just a little bit more complicated. And in this day and age where we just love to be lazy, right? We love to be lazy, take the easy way out, do the simple, basic, easy things. I think hockey's maybe just a little bit too complicated for everybody.
All right, if that's it, and there's been a lot of theories over the years, obviously. Listen, again, yes, it's Canada's sport. There's pockets in our country. Of course, all three teams have great fan bases.
Come a long way. By the way, U.S. team just won the juniors.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
They did,
okay.
And they've come a long way. You've got some excellent U.S. players. So I'm looking forward to them getting back into the Olympics.
Yeah.
So you have some really strong American-bred talent. I mean, even on the local teams, the Rangers have had a good U.S. presence on their teams for a while now. So it does exist.
Yeah.
But you're right, in certain pockets of the country.
Yeah, I mean, westward expansion, southern expansion through the years, Lightning. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, imagine growing up thinking that there would be hockey in Florida. Nobody foresaw that. I mean, like, I get the frustration. I do. I was actually listening to you last night, Chris, coming home from.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I didn't really have much of a choice
I understand.
there. Yeah,
you didn't say, "Oh, CeeLo's on. Let me put the fan on." You get in the car, you turn the car on, the fan's on. Oh, look who it is.
Yeah, actually, I almost said the opposite. I almost turned it off because you were on. No, I'm just teasing. I'm waiting for my car to come
hockey talk? Come on.
So I'm driving back from St. John Seton Hall, and we'll get to those Patino comments.
My God. He lost his mind after that game
Wow, it was a rough night all around. We'll do a little bit of that later. But I'm driving home, right? And I'm listening to you, and I know you're a big hockey guy, and everybody's calling up. I heard Marash call.
Yeah, I had to check in with him, make sure he sobered up a little bit. We waited a few hours until he was, almost home.
Always smart with him.
Yeah, but he was good. He was on top of it.
Yeah, no, he sounded fairly lucid, more so than I thought he would. Definitely sober.
I felt the same way.
I heard people calling from trains. I heard some guy call. Took his young boy Cole, I believe is his name. Cole,
first NHL game.
Yeah, first game, and that's what he saw. No, I couldn't. But I say this because I'm going to be the bad guy today. And I don't want to be because, again, the Stadium Series was amazing. There's nothing in this city for a day or two that's going to ever replicate that. It looks unique. It plays unique. The energy is just, I believe it's insane. And then I'm hearing all these amazing hockey fans, true diehards, great fans calling up the fan last night. And you doing a good job with the calls, sharing the passion because you're a big hockey guy as well.
Perfect night for it.
Well, yeah, perfect night.
Yeah.
But as I'm driving, Chris, I'm saying these poor people have no idea that no matter how much they yell and hoot and holler and have a blast on the fan, hockey's going to be 4 forever. It's going to be relegated to number 4 forever.
For whatever reason, as diehard as I've been for as long as I've been, I'm one of those guys that just has accepted that. I don't get angry about it. I don't get sensitive about it. I understand the people that do.
Yeah.
I really do, because it's one of those things where if I really stop and think about it and ask myself why, I don't really understand the answers. And I still haven't had anybody fully explain it to me in a way that makes sense. But it's just like, you know what? I love it. I'm passionate about it. So I don't really give a rat's what about
smart.
what other
But
people think.
You're a better man than most.
But at some point, and I think that what happens is there's a delay sometimes, there's a delayed effect, right? And we don't see the true outcome of what's going on in the present day until years down the road. And maybe that won't be the case with hockey. I felt like 30 years ago in '94 when the Rangers were on their way to winning the Cup and the NBA was kind of going in the other direction.
Yep.
That was their chance, and then they blew that. They had the strike the following season. They've had 2 lockouts since, so they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. When I look at other sports right now, what's going on with the NBA? I mean, All-Star
The NBA
Weekend.
is an
Did anyone
absolute
pay
joke.
attention? I mean, the games,
joke.
the regular season games, you got that. From a baseball standpoint, BT, that was my first love.
Yeah, me too.
My parents have video from when I'm 2, naming baseball cards, watching the World Series.
You should
with
come
my
and
dad.
enjoy the BT
I
and
know.
Sal
You guys
Baseball
I don't know
Card
that I
World
can-
Series.
I don't know I can keep up
if
with
you're
you
that
guys.
good.
I was just doing Yankees Mets. You guys are a little too more advanced than I am as far
Gotcha.
as that goes.
Uh-huh.
But that was my sport. That was my first love. It's the sport that I played the longest.
Yep.
All the way through into college. But when I turn on Major League Baseball, even last year was great with the rule changes, pitch clock, fine, all those things worked. But the product, the way the game's played, boom or bust, launch angle, home, and it filters down to the kids.
It does.
And with the NBA, I'm going to shoot threes. I'm not going to play defense. I'm going to try and dunk. Like at some point, when those kids, the youth of today, and what they're trying to do is we always try to emulate the pros and what we see on TV, right?
Always.
When they take that into their games and they grow up and they become the professionals, what is that product going to look like? And is anyone going to want to sit and consume it and watch it?
I mean, that is an interesting way to look at it.
So maybe not today, and you say never,
Well.
and you might be right.
Well.
Because it is a niche sport, and there's a lot that goes with it. And, unless you're there in the building, or in yesterday's case, outside at the building watching the game, it is a different experience being there in person versus trying to follow along on television. I get that. But to me, I'd much rather turn on a hockey game and watch the excitement, the pace, the speed, the skating, the hitting, the intensity, the goal scoring, the skill, the athleticism, than watch a bunch of NBA guys kind of shuffle up and down the court. And the Knicks right now are the exception to that.
Yeah,
They
thank
play
God.
an old school brand of basketball,
Yeah.
which we love and appreciate in this town, But with baseball, strikeouts, hey, I'm going to pop the ball up in the air. I got to sit out. My hamstring, I'm not going to hustle down to first base because I got to make sure I take care of my body. Like, it's a completely different feel, and we've just grown to accept that.
Yep.
But at some point, I have to believe maybe there'd be a little bit of a pushback. People will go searching for something different.
877-337-6666. BT and Sal show here on the Fan. Sal is off. CeeLo is in. Sal, listen, he said this. We've talked about it a little bit. He's got a very important week coming up. So God bless your brother. God bless the family.
All the
We'll
best to
obviously
him
hold
and
it
the
down.
family, yes.
Yeah, it's he'll be. I believe he'll be in tomorrow. He's going to miss a couple days this week here, but that's why he's going to miss some time this week. All right, we're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. So we're going to get these calls going. Obviously, listen, I'm not going to sit here. I mean, if you reference it, I'm not going to bark at you. I'm not going to hang up on you like Sal might. No.
Get lost.
Yeah. I'm the pro. If you start talking about shifts and line changes and the actual nuances of the game, I don't care
worry,
about that.
I did 4
don't
hours
care
of that
about
last night, so we had you covered.
I
It's okay.
appreciate you doing that, last night, and I'm sure Boomer got some of that stuff in today. This is more about, bigger picture. And I just find it incredibly frustrating. Like, if I'm a hockey fan, if I'm like Chris, and then I want to get these calls, but I want to circle back to something Chris said. So you said that you've accepted it, like where it's relegated. Okay, I got you.
You know what helps? As a Ranger fan in this town, Garden sold out all the time.
That's true.
You saw the fan. I mean,
You don't have to
I
fight
don't
for your
deal with
respect
it
as a
much.
Rangers
Yeah.
fan.
In this town,
Okay.
maybe it's still. I
That's true.
understand Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets,
That's
Knicks,
true.
fine. But the Rangers do have a vibe and
there's no
presence
doubt.
in this town and have for a long time.
Ranger fans might be the best fans in our city.
So that makes it easier for me to digest. Whereas the Devil fan, who's
Yeah.
had more success than the Rangers in my lifetime,
No question.
very difficult for them to to break
I'm
through.
happy that you said that but I would still even push back and say, well, if I'm Chris, who is a devout Rangers fan, and even with the Rangers having a nice piece of the pie in the city, like, I would feel a burden that you don't feel right now to push my sport. Like, and again, this is not the day to get into, why aren't you rooting for St. John's, because it's gotten ugly here.
Yeah.
But for years, I've kind of carried that St. John's torch.
Sure.
Like, come on, go fill the guard. What's going on? I understand UConn's UConn, Nova's Nova. I get that. So I've carried that torch, that burden of responsibility. You don't feel the need to do that, and I don't know, maybe you should.
Well, think about it, though, what you just said, okay? For St. John's, restoring the pride and restoring the interest that there once was, right? And people being passionate about it. That's never wavered with the Ranger fan. So maybe they don't bring in the fringe fan the way the NBA does or the way baseball does or football, which, everyone watches on Sunday. It's a different vibe, once a week sport. But for St. John's, I think that lost some of its luster for a while. Whereas with the Rangers, even though they have just the one cup since '94, I mean, the Garden is always sold out.
That's fair.
They never struggle to bring people in to pay attention to their team.
Okay, I got you. Let's get to you. Tony Riverdale, BT and Sal, CeeLo sitting in. Tony, what's cooking, buddy? How you doing today?
Good morning. How's everything?
All right, Tony.
One thing that people don't see is the economics of it. Myself, Peruvian kid growing up in an Irish neighborhood, middle-class neighborhood in Kingsbridge.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have to cut out the cushions on the sofas for the goalie pads.
Wow.
The rollerblade. We'd go into Inwood, play the kit in Inwood, roller hockey on the tennis courts. But how many Dominican kids, Puerto Rican kids, black kids do you see doing that? They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been exposed. Now, we used to have to rent the rink out at 4 in the morning. 40 guys would chip in and pay like $10, $15 so we could get an affordable 2 hours to play.
Yep.
It takes money to play hockey.
Yeah.
You don't realize your skates are $400. Shin guards, it takes a lot of money. And on top of that, hockey's always been on cable.
It's not true. No, Tony, hold on. I got to correct you a little bit there, Tony. And obviously, you're pointing to the economics of it, which has a real value in this conversation.
There's some aspects that are true, others that I think there are workarounds, but that's a different conversation.
Well, first of all, he says that hockey was always only on cable. That's not. I used to watch the Rangers on Channel 9 on road games just like I used to watch the Knicks.
Yeah, see, that predates my time. I only know MSG. But
Sports Channel, MSG.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect, not entirely true, but I understand it. And the other thing is, I know that you need more equipment to play hockey, but you know how much now you're not knee deep in baseball yet.
Oh,
We are
having done some coaching at youth travel levels in high school. I understand the expense that comes with that as well. No, that's okay. That's good.
Bats,
yeah,
$300-$400, right. And they outgrow them in a year and a half.
By the way, gloves. A good glove you could spend upwards of $300-$400. Now you don't have to,
but
you definitely could.
Santa brought my son a Rawlings glove from the Santa factory last year. The Hard
Pro Preferred, which one?
It was $300-something.
Yeah.
Now, his name stitched on it. Maybe Santa didn't have to do that. We appreciate him going the extra mile with the elves.
Absolutely.
He knows he loves
well
baseball.
Deserved.
You get that? Yeah. But you look up and that's bats $400, gloves $700. Is hockey equipment that much more?
It doesn't have to be.
Think
and if you're playing at the highest level, sure. Now, if you want to go out in the street with some, you don't have to go and spend a ton of money. Now, the part where I understand the logistics can be an issue. Ice time. It's a factor. So if we're talking about, hey, the NHL and playing at the highest level, not just some kids going out in the street or finding a local inline roller rink, that's a different story. You can just horse around, have some fun with some buddies. But getting on the ice, finding the rink, the ice time, and the expense that comes with that. Sometimes talking about having to get a kid up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to get to the rink. I do understand that. And that is different than the other sports. And if you're going to advance to the higher levels, it's very expensive. Chris Kreider of the Rangers, they just did sort of a piece on his life and his career. And he talked about the sacrifice and the expense and his parents. Now it takes an army, and that it's, it is not the easiest sport as a youth to play and really kind of develop and go through the ranks. So I can appreciate that. There are logistical concerns, but at a baseline, if you want to say, well, it's just too expensive. I mean, if you look hard enough, any of the sports, the major sports that we're talking about have aspects that cost money. If you're going to go play travel at any sport, any level, and you know this with what's going on with your son with baseball, and I guess maybe to a lesser extent to basketball, they're going to come calling for your wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen. Is this goofball? Wait, no. I'm going to make a prediction, and I'm going to miss it by a mile, though I did say it last week. I'm going to stand by it. Blake Snell, Yankee.
Eventually, you'll be right.
Blake Snell, Yankee.
So we have a firing and a signing.
A firing.
So which one do you want first?
Wait, are they related? No.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Don't want to glorify bad news, but let's get the bad stuff. Yeah. Hold on. Let's take a get. Jacques Vaughn.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
He's gone.
Okay.
He's been relieved of his duties.
All right.
Okay. That's
Have
tough,
they named
tough.
an interim replacement yet?
Maybe you could coach him.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, no, maybe they'll just have the bench coach again. Who knows?
All right, Jacques a good guy. It's not working
Named
out.
the future. They haven't named anybody.
All right.
Okay,
I mean,
what-
that's
what-
what he was the interim and then got the full-time gig. So
And what's
Great
the
job.
other thing? A signing?
signing.
Yeah, signing.
Go ahead.
Brandon Woodruff.
Okay.
A 2-year deal.
2
You want to guess?
I mean, I
To the
saw
Mets.
I saw this over an hour ago, so
to the Mets.
I'll stay quiet.
Wait, you know this? Wait.
Well, someone just put breaking out there
no,
with
I'm
a 4
sorry.
minutes.
I'm sorry. No, I different signing. Never mind. I'm wrong. Go ahead.
I was saying the
Different signing.
Mets.
No, the Brewers. Went back to the Brewers. What story from an hour
Sorry,
ago?
there's another picture.
Yeah, no,
The
trying
Red
to
Sox.
screw up my feng shui
Well,
over
I
here.
mean, you recently screwed up the John Heyman tweet with the nickname.
Oh, what, that was
for-
Corey Klubot?
Yeah, the Klubot. You guys didn't know he was Klubot?
No.
I did
Yeah,
not
that's
know
right.
that.
Liam
And I'm not
Hendricks to
ashamed.
the Red Sox. That's what I was thinking of. You're right. Woodruff back to the Brewers. Okay.
You know, usually if I don't know something that I feel like everybody knows, I'm a little bit like, oh, man, how'd you not know that? Give a rat's ass. I didn't know
You
Kluber's,
know why?
Kluber's
Because
nickname.
he pitched.
15 years
well,
ago.
because he had the year here in New York. He pitched the no hitter. I do remember that being talked
don't.
about when he was with the Yankees.
I don't.
But all right, fair
I
enough.
don't.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Hoff, for interrupting that with most of nothing.
Back to the
Appreciate it,
Brewers
Hoff.
from
Yes,
Woodruff.
yes, back to
Okay.
you. Let me go investigate the Brewers depth chart right now. BT and Sal here on the Fan. Sal is off today. CeeLo's sitting in, and let's face it, he's all geared up with his Rangers. Now, if the Rangers lost yesterday, you coming in with that stuff?
No, I will admit that I would not, but I feel like I had to balance it out. I didn't know you were going to be rocking the Isles Stadium Series jersey again, but the guy who I'm sitting
No,
in
I haven't
for,
worn it yet. This is the first time. Sal wore it
Oh, you
last
didn't
week.
wear it Friday. Okay,
I
well,
wasn't
I know
even gonna,
Sal did.
Sal wore it.
Right.
You know, the Rangers,
Well,
Islanders
that's
hybrid
why
fan that he
I had
is.
to remove some of the fraudulent stink from this chair
Ooh.
because he's such a waffler. Look, I love Sal, but as far as from a Rangers fan standpoint,
What
he's
are we doing there with
completely-
the Sal
completely
fandom?
dead to me. And by the way, that's going back to last year. I know that's kind of
know.
caught a little bit more momentum this year with what went on with Ledecky and having you guys over there in the suite and the
Yeah.
picture and all that.
And every
But
chance
that
I
went-
get to gas it up, you know I bring
that
it to
went
the
back
table.
to last spring
I
when they
know
sent
it
him with
did.
all the swag. Same guy who's dropping all kinds of money on Ranger playoff tickets to take his nephew, but meanwhile, all of a sudden, he can be bought by Ledecky and the Islanders now? Come on, man. Get lost.
Oh, wow. Look at CeeLo coming in hot.
Love Sal, but
Sal's
that's-
going to come biting back
sorry.
at you.
I'm sure he will.
Ah,
That's
well,
fine.
bite back hard.
He'll always have the last word because this is his chair. I'm
That's
just
right.
sitting in for one day.
I
But while I'm
appreciate
here,
it,
I got
though.
to take my shot.
I like the backbone.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got a
Holding
backbone.
nothing back. This is going to be more fun than I thought.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Yeah.
All right. BT and Sal on the Fan, 877-337-6666. Amazing job. Honestly, all sincerity. Amazing job by the NHL over the weekend. Locally, Devils fan, obviously some Flyer fans there. Devil fans showing out. Yesterday was amazing, the optics. But even with that, it's going nowhere. It's not. It is what it is. It's the fourth most popular sport. I respect hockey players as much as I respect any athlete. I respect hockey players. But unfortunately, they are stuck here, and it's not going to change.